So today I had a day off, and I decided I was going to come in here and see how much stuff I could get working. And I was actually pretty amazed that everything kind of works. Especially for my standards, that's amazing. So I did short out the DC short situation. Turns out what I was looking at was not a short, but the trickle charger coming in. And I wasn't reading voltage because it was not enough amps to get a voltage reading on my meter. So there is no short, and everything seems to be working there, which is very cool. We also turned the gas on. I'll get to that in a moment, but I'll show you how the electrical system works. We're on AC right now. AC basically runs everything that can't be run on DC, and the electrical outlets. So the air conditioner runs on AC, microwave, refrigerator, a couple lights, like I said, that light there and that one there, which I'm going to replace. I didn't tack that back up yet because I was curious to see if it would actually leak. Now, we had a bunch of rain this week, and we didn't get any water coming in here. So, and right now it's very dry. So I'm really wondering if maybe, and the whole camper is at an angle right now. I don't know if you can tell, or maybe pitched towards this side by, I don't know, maybe 5 degrees or 2 or 3 degrees or something. So that may make the difference, but you know, obviously there's a little discoloration up there, but it's very dry now, that's for sure. And when I bought it, there was moisture here. I don't know if maybe they just didn't have the slide outs pressed firmly at the top against the seals, which does seem possible because there is some, like, you can move it back and forth slightly with your hand. You can grasp it and you can move it. So I'm not sure, maybe they just didn't have it forced all the way out. But anyway, let me show you the conversion toy. Excuse me. So all the AC stuff on here was working. What I thought was a short was actually the charger. So I connected everything, and everything works. So we have, obviously, the AC circuits marked. Get closer. And DC fuses are also marked down below. And DC runs a lot of stuff. Now, this will convert AC to DC to charge the battery. It will not convert DC back to AC if you want to run your fridge and you have no AC power. So it's a one-way conversion. I actually found the manual for this thing, and I was reading it quite a bit. So all these lights now work, which is very cool. And there are probably a dozen of these lights throughout the unit, and you can actually go one at a time. So for each of these. I mean, there's 3 in this room alone, and 2 in the bathroom, and like 5 over on that end. And you can also run them through these little light switches. So, which is cool. That one's over there. I gave you a doorknob here earlier. Glued up a lot of the trim that was kind of falling down. Stuff like that. Fixed this curtain so it works on the little winder toys. I did that yesterday. But anyway. So stuff that we did today. The AC to DC stuff is all set. So we have both power systems all working. Which means we can start playing with some of the toys. Now, the first thing I tried was the air conditioner. And I had that running earlier, and it was getting nice and cool in here, nice and I wouldn't say toasty, it was the opposite, but anyway. So it does get nice, it does blow nice and cold, which is surprising. I'm amazed something like the air conditioner will work on anything that I buy, my goodness. So that's cool. And then I decided I was going to try the furnace. I put temp up. And we turned gas on to try this. And it's got an electric light. The electric light system is on 12 volts. You can hear it ticking, and it just fired right now. And I went back here. You got your intake and your exhaust definitely has hot air coming out of it. And I went in here and I was actually getting nice hot air coming out of these vents, which makes sense. Obviously, the AC on the roof, cold air will fall. Hot air coming from the floor, hot air will rise, which is cool. And also works well for our plan, because I was thinking over the wintertime we could make a little skirt out of that rigid foam that we used on that building and go around the motorhome with it, with a little skirt. And if the floor is heated and if the bottom space is insulated, then you're not going to have a lot of problems, I think, with stuff freezing underneath. So that's cool. So we tested that. That works. And that actually cycled a couple times for me, which is cool. And of course you can bring this down and it'll click off. So turn it off and it'll go ahead and go through the purge cycle. Radio works, which is cool.
The easiest one, like, it was so obvious as I was watching it that I said,
and you have like,
what am I missing here?
You have like 2 different speaker systems.
And I texted you guys. This isn't a second guess. I texted you and Jeff. Absolutely. Yep. I said it's...
Apparently it's tuned to some kind of like Boston sports station at the moment. So that's cool. And power's right there. So that's cool. So this shuts off after a purge cycle. We also played with the stove. I'll show you how the stove works. The stove has no ignition. So what you do is you have a lighter. You put this on the light and you can hear it start to flow. And you get your... There you go. And that's how all these work. And you got your modulation. And off. Now the oven actually has a pilot light. The normal position is off, which allows no flow for the pilot even. You can have it on pilot because, of course, when you're transporting the unit, when you're driving, you don't want any gas. So you usually, when you're camping, you have it on pilot on. So once you turn it to pilot on, you go down here, and just like all of our stoves that we have, you do this. Well, they're all electric now, but there's your pilot. And what you do is you go up here and you turn this on. And of course you get more flow out of your... And I have the flash on. There's the furnace just turned off of its purge cycle. And it's a furnace, not a boiler. No forced water. And there's your gas for your oven. And good for cooking Tupperware, apparently. So up here, if you want to keep the pilot on, you go to pilot on. And if you want to turn it off, you go to off. So that works, which is cool. Alright, now I have the water heater working also. Now this is nice and hot. That's cold right now. There you go. Now that's really hot right there. So that's nice. Now there's a switch right here to turn water heater off and on. Incidentally, you can also monitor status of like the battery, how full the freshwater tank is. The black water tank, it says, is full all the way. I don't know for sure. And the gray water tank is 1/4, or below a third anyway. I'm not really sure what the galley is. I have to double check the manual on that. But microwave obviously has power. Fridge works and has power. I have it off at the moment. All this stuff works. Which, it's kind of amazing that, like, I bought something where stuff works on it. I don't think that it would ever happen. So, I'll show you the water heater. The water heater was the thing where I was most concerned with, because it is the most recessed, and you can't really tell if it has water in it. And of course, you're not supposed to turn it on. So what I was doing is opening this valve up top to see if, and when water came out of that, then I was going ahead to turn it on. So what you do... It's got, I don't know if you can tell, it's almost like a little blue flame there. That apparently is like some sort of pilot or whatever. And it also has this sparker toy. It's got a spark plug right there. And when it kicks on, it ignites right there. And it heated the whole, I guess it says it's like 6 gallons. It heated the whole thing up, and then it turned off. So that's cool. That should be off though. I don't understand why that's on. I don't know if you can see that. There's definitely like a little tiny blue flame there. Yeah, I'm not sure why that is. Ooh, yeah, that's a little hot. Alright. And even the switch inside there is on. It is set to off. I was not actually able to switch that. I'm not sure why. But the whole thing worked even in that position. So, you know, obviously, worst case is you get a cheap electric water heater and you're all set. But this thing seems to be working, so that's cool. So let's see if there's anything I missed. So once again, very happy. Everything works on it right now. So we're pretty much go for launch. This room has like a bunch of little lights in it too. There's like a light there. There's like, I can't really see. Like under here. These are all DC. I've got to get another light for that one. And probably, when I'm convinced that this thing is not leaking at all, I'll tack that back up. But yeah. Excuse me. I don't know if this does anything. This is the remote. This is the controller for the rooms. I wasn't really going to mess with this. Because we actually went right to the motor. These lights also control things, I think. Yeah. On or something. I'm not sure what that does. On, off. Yeah, well, anyway. So, whatever that is, it is. And, so it looks pretty good. Looks like we're in great shape here. Yeah. Oh, these little lights. This is a GFCI. So, there it is. So, yeah, so AC, furnace, stove, water heater, all that stuff's working. Everything else works. Power everywhere. Doors, windows are all in good shape. Yeah, so that's my update. Today is Thursday. I think it's June either 17th or 18th. And that's the latest. I'll catch you later.